Hello and welcome to You Have Control. In today's exercise we will be looking at 10A, critically slow flight. The aim of this exercise is to recognise the condition, control the aircraft in and recover from flight at critically slow airspeed and in the incipient stall. So let's kick things off by talking about two types of airflow our aerofoil will encounter. We have laminar airflow, where all the lines of airflow are parallel to each other. And we have turbulent airflow, where the lines of flow have been disrupted and are no longer parallel. We are going to talk about when the airflow goes from being laminar to being turbulent, or when the airflow breaks up. As we slow down, we will be increasing the angle of attack. As the angle of attack increases, we will be disturbing the airflow above the wing. This airflow disturbance is known as breakup, and once the airfoil reaches its critical angle of attack, the aerodynamic breakup is so much so that lift is destroyed. Also known as a stall, or in this case VS, which is around about 41 knots in the C-42 without a stage of flaps. We will focus more on stalls in the next exercise, however your instructor may demonstrate a stall to you whilst flying this exercise. Let's look at the indications of slow flight, or in this case VS plus 5 knots above the stall. As we have already discussed, you will have an increased angle of attack, therefore your nose attitude will be high. A reason for this is due to a large amount of back pressure on the stick. When you are flying at very slow speeds, such as VS plus 5, our control surfaces will become much less responsive and will start to become very sloppy. To recover from slow flight, simply lower the nose and use power where appropriate. The aim is to lose as little height as possible. Now let's talk about slowing the aircraft down to VS plus 2, or the incipient stall. Once again, the controls will become even sloppier. You might have even more back pressure on the stick, leading to slow flight. This usually results in a much higher angle of pitch and a reduced view of the horizon. At this point, the airflow above the wing will have started to break up, and we will start to experience what is known as aerodynamic buffet. In other words, the wings will start to shake a bit. At this point, it's really important that you do not use the ailerons, as using the ailerons will increase the angle of attack on either wing. This will cause one of the wings to stall and therefore drop. It is extremely important that you keep the aircraft in balance and keep the wings level. This is done by using the rudder. We use the balance ball to determine how much the aircraft is out of balance. The recovery to an incipient stall involves lowering the nose and increasing the power. Make sure to maintain balance. There are some advantages, however, in slow flight, one of which is being able to turn with a much smaller radius compared to when you are flying at normal speeds. However, be very careful when doing this and make sure to use very shallow angles of bank. Flaps on our aircraft will also reduce our stall speed. For example, with no flaps, our stall speed on the C-42 is 41 knots. However, when we are flying with 2 stages of flaps, our stall speed goes down to 31 knots. So in this exercise, how on earth are we going to perform slow flight? We are going to check our engine temperatures and pressures. Because we are going to be running the engine at a very low RPM, the engine will cool down very quickly. In the scenario that your instructor will demonstrate a stall, a hassle check will be performed, which we will discuss in the airmanship segment of this video. we are going to gently reduce the engine power. At the same time as reducing the engine power, ease the stick back. Look over the nose at the horizon, and you should see the nose starting to rise above the horizon. We want to slow down at a rate of 1 or 2 knots every second. We don't really want to slow down much faster than this, otherwise we will enter a stall very quickly. As our airspeed drops, start to reduce the movement on the ailerons, as once again this could cause a wing to stall and for us to drop a wing. Keep the wings level by using the rudder. If the left wing starts to come down, put in some right rudder. If the right wing starts to come down, left rudder will do just fine. Keep monitoring your airspeed, as you do not want to enter a stall. If the aircraft's nose were to drop, that is an indication that you have stalled the aircraft, and a stall recovery will be required. We will focus on stall recovery next lesson, exercise 10B. Maintain the correct nose attitude for either VS+2 or VS+5, and use small inputs to the power to maintain your height so you are not going up or down. Remember, when you add power, you need to counter the slipstream with a little bit of right rudder. It is all part of keeping the aircraft in balance. In today's airmanship, we are going to introduce the hassle check. Why do we perform a hassle check, and when do we perform a hassle check? We perform a hassle check before any advanced manoeuvre, just to make sure that we are in safe parameters and the aircraft is set up appropriately for the manoeuvre which you are about to perform. Therefore, we must perform a hassle check before every manoeuvre we do. So, what does it stand for? H is for our height. We need to be able to recover above 1,000 feet with an instructor or 1,500 feet on your own. Remember, these heights are above ground level. The A stands for airframe. Is the airframe in the correct configuration for the exercise? Have you got flaps? Or is the airframe clean? Which means the flaps are away, or the air brakes or spoilers are away. Security. Are you secure? Is your passenger or instructor secure? And are there any loose items in the cockpit? If there are, stow them away in a secure place. Engine temperatures and pressures, are they within limits? Is our location suitable? In other words, are we over any built-up areas, or are we over farmland? Make sure we are clear of cloud and clear of controlled airspace. And finally, it's lookout. Not only are we going to look left or right, but we are going to perform clearing turns to check all around us. These can either be two 90-degree turns, a 180-degree turn, or a full 360, looking out for any traffic above, below, and check your blind spots in the aircraft. Do not be afraid to ask your passenger or your instructor to help you look. I'm just going to emphasize that we will not fly this exercise anywhere near to the ground. And this will conclude exercise 10A. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you have any questions, please leave them down below in the comment section. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos. Fly safe.